Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thank you so much for joining me today for Nimble's training webinar. My name is Michaela Aderdal, and I'm Nimble's community manager. During today's session, I will go through the entire application. We'll cover the setup. I'll show you how you can connect your emails, your calendars, and how to connect, how to bring in information from your social media accounts. And then I'll go through the entire application explaining every single feature. I will discuss how you can use our Nimble browser extension and our plugins to use Nimble inside of your Outlook or Gmail, and also show you how you can use it everywhere else you might be working, like on LinkedIn or when you're prospecting on any company website. And towards the end, I will also share my phone screen and I will walk you through the mobile application. So I mentioned earlier, I have my awesome colleague Megan on the line, and she's compiling questions. So at any point, if at any point during today's presentation you have questions about anything, please type it in and I'll make sure to answer everything at the end of the session. So for those of you that are new to Nimble, haven't even signed up yet, I also want to spend a few minutes talking about what Nimble is. So Nimble is an easy to use customer relationship management tool that works for you in Office 365. It also works in G Suite and everywhere else you work. And what it means is that we created extensions that allow you to use Nimble inside of your inbox and also elsewhere on the web. Nimble automatically combines your contacts, communication histories, email inboxes, and calendar appointments and brings it into one place. So the idea for you is to use Nimble as a place where you can go and find everything that has been done with your prospects and customers and what the next steps are and who is responsible for them. Nimble also integrates with social media and with over 160 software as a service applications. We do this via our integration with a company called PiSync. It's a company that specializes in bidirectional data synchronization. So if you're using any other applications in your workflow, like MailChimp for email marketing, if you're using QuickBooks for accounting, Xero, or there are literally almost 200 of these applications. So I'll also show you where you can find all the other ones we integrate with. So this integration will allow you to bring the contact data from these applications inside of Nimble, and that can actually be done on our free trial for free. And then PiSync also allows you to sync the information for free if you sync less than 2,000 contacts per month per user. Then if you go over that, there's a charge associated with it, but that all depends on the amount of contacts that you would be syncing. So here we are inside of Nimble. Today page will be the first place that you see every time you log into Nimble. But I know that there's a lot of you that are completely new to Nimble today. So I want to start in settings, because if you first log in without first connecting your emails, calendars, and bringing in some contacts, this page will be empty. So I want to show you how you can get started. And even for those of you that have already been with us for a while, I want to make sure that you know that every time there's a problem with something, if you feel like something is not working correctly, like the integration with your email or something, you can always click on this circle in the top right corner, navigate to networks and imports, and take a look at what might be going on. So what can happen is sometimes the connection might time out. Sometimes you'll see a little red exclamation point and next to any of the email accounts that you connected. So you can simply click on the refresh button here. If that doesn't work, you can simply disconnect it and connect it again. And for those of you that are new, I already mentioned that we integrate with any IMAP email account. So no matter what you use, and I know most of you today are on Office 365, so you would just click here on Connect Email Account, select the appropriate one, and then you would be able to log in with your Office 365 login. In regards to calendars, the same thing. Here you can see that I actually use the combination of both Outlook and Google Calendar. So again, if you are in the same scenario, you can connect both to Nimble. In regards to social networks and bringing contacts from there inside of Nimble, we currently only have a direct integration with Twitter, meaning that you can connect Twitter to Nimble, directly import contacts from Twitter into Nimble. So for those of you that are utilizing Twitter for your business, this can be really beneficial because everything that you do on Twitter will be recorded inside of Nimble. So when you go on specific person's contact record, you will be able to see when you connected on Twitter and all the history of the interactions you've had. So that will be just another channel that you can sync to Nimble and see how any of you or you personally communicated with any of your prospects and customers. In regards to bringing contacts into Nimble from Twitter, I would like to warn everybody, and this is not just related to Twitter, but basically bringing in contacts from any place. I know that cleaning any spreadsheets or any apps that you might be bringing your contacts into Nimble from might be time consuming, but I would actually recommend it because it pays off in the long run. Because the worst thing you can do is to mess up your database when you're first getting started. Because if you really keep an eye on the contacts that you're bringing in, then it will be more likely that you will continue to use it and enjoy using it. Because if you can rely on the data, it's more likely that you will succeed with using the application. So with Twitter, I would definitely not opt for importing everybody, because not everybody that follows you necessarily has to be in your CRM database. We give you a lot of options. You can bring in just your friends. That would mean that you follow each other with, that usually show some kind of an interest. You can also, if you're using Twitter lists, you can also bring in specific groups of people using that. Or, which I think is the best option, is to download our browser extension. And I'll ask my colleague Megan to send a link to everybody in the chat box. You can simply go on nimble.com/widget and you'll be able to download our browser extension on the browser of your choice. So this will allow you to use Nimble outside of Nimble. So when you're talking to a possible prospect or an existing customer on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, you can just pull up the extension and bring the contact record inside of Nimble, or update an existing record. Because if you just hover over the person's name, Nimble will know that the person's already in your database, and you'll be able to access and update any of the data in there. So social media are just one place from which you can bring your contacts in, of course. I also want to mention LinkedIn. That's usually something that everybody's interested in. LinkedIn no longer allows third-party applications to directly integrate with them, but you can still go onto LinkedIn, download a CSV file of your LinkedIn connections, and then import it to Nimble. We know what the file looks like, so we will also help you to map the field so you don't have to do a lot of editing, and the import will be really smooth. But again, I wanted to point out that maybe not everybody that you have connected on LinkedIn with over the years necessarily has to be in your CRM database. So either cleaning up before the import, or using the browser extension to add the people in one by one every time you maybe accept an invitation of somebody that you want to have in your CRM database. So you can also bring contacts in from any application that will allow you to save the data in the CSV file format. So either spreadsheets, if you're managing your client list in a spreadsheet, that's not a problem at all. You can just save it as a CSV file, import it into Nimble, and we will also help you map the fields. So if there are any columns that you are using in your spreadsheets that are not existing in Nimble right now, we'll give you the options to create custom fields, and I'll go over that in detail in just a little bit. You can also import contacts from Outlook, and I also recommend in addition to connecting your Outlook, your Office 365 Outlook, I would also recommend everybody using this button that says Office 365 Contacts and Group Messages. which will allow you to import contacts from your Outlook. And it will, once you click that button and log in with your Office 365 login, it will also allow you to use our group message feature in Nimble. So we are currently working on unifying this. So in very near future, there will only be one button that will allow you to connect your Office 365 Outlook, import your contacts, and also use the group messaging feature. But for now, I would just suggest that you go onto contacts and click on this button as well. And all these other applications that you see here, these are the ones I mentioned in regards to our integration with a company called PiSync. So you can either scroll through it, or you can simply just start typing the application that you're using. And the way the integration with PiSync works is that you can just sign up for a free trial inside of Nimble. During the 14-day trial, you can bring all the information, all the data that you have inside of this application into Nimble for free. There's no limit on how many contacts you can bring in. And then PiSync works on rules. So you can set up rules like, if this contact gets created in MailChimp, then also create it in Nimble and apply this specific tag. So on the setup, you'll be able to just, it's very easy to set up, and you'll be able to tell PiSync what exactly you want the integration to do. After the 14-day trial, 2,000 contacts per month per user will be included, and you will be able to use this integration for free. But after that, if you go over, then there would be a charge associated with that. So I think we covered everything in regards to connecting everything to Nimble. The reason why we encourage you to connect your emails, calendars to Nimble is that once you do that, then when you go onto a contact records page, you will be able to see everything that has been done with the person. So you'll be able to see what emails you've sent, when you send them, and also Nimble will show you exactly when was the last time there was a meeting with the person and anything that is scheduled with this specific person in the future. So I also want to go through a few more things before we move forward. So I'll start from the bottom. As you can see in this menu here, when you go into activities, this is something that only the account administrator will be able to set up. But we offer some standard activities you can log into Nimble, like tasks and events and calls. But we also give the administrator the option to create any custom activity. It could be a press briefing, product training, sales call. It could be a trade show, basically anything. So you would just click on this button. You can even pick an icon that works for you and create it. And then everybody on the team will be able to use these custom activities to schedule the activities or log any of them that happened in the past. So I also mentioned that Nimble gives you the option to create custom data fields. So maybe if you're transitioning from a spreadsheet and you have certain columns that are not in Nimble, then you can create up to 5 custom tabs. And under each of these tabs, you will be able to create all kinds of fields, as many as you want. So for instance, I chose to create a tab that's called programs. And under that, I created a separator for each of the programs that I'm responsible for inside of Nimble. And then one of the fields I created is a field called account owner. So I can either create select boxes and define the values to make it easy for anybody who would be inputting the data into Nimble, or it could be a simple text field so everybody could type it in manually. So yeah, if I select a single line text here, that would be just an empty field that anybody in the company would be able to fill in. So I just wanted to show you where the data fields would actually be created. And then on the contact record, I'll show you what it actually looks like on the front end. Pipelines, this is also where the account admin or anybody who the account admin delegated the rights to modify the pipelines would be able to make changes. So Nimble currently gives you the ability to create multiple sales pipelines. So if you have multiple divisions in your business, or if you sell multiple products, You can create as many pipelines as you want and then define the fields. The account admin will be able to add and remove licenses here. And then by clicking on inviting users, you can just type in the email addresses of the people you want to invite into your account. And also, this is where you can delegate different permissions. So you can also prevent certain employees to be able to bulk export or bulk delete any of your contacts. You can also give them different rights in terms of the deal privacy inside of Nimble. So that can be determined here. In email settings, everybody in the company will be able to and should copy and paste their signature from their current email provider, because every time you would be sending an email from inside of Nimble, we would automatically attach your signature with your picture and anything else, logos, and so on. We also have email templates inside of Nimble that you can use for individual and group messaging, so you can easily add them here. We covered networks and imports. In notifications, you'll be able to tell Nimble what notifications you wanted to send and where. Any billing related questions, or if you want to see how many licenses you're currently using, how much storage you're utilizing, everything will be available in billing. So let's go back to today page. So once we have imported contacts, once we have our calendars connected and we have our emails connected to Nimble, this page will make more sense to us. So when you click on Manage Widgets here, this is where you'll be able to tell Nimble which boxes you actually want to see. So really depends on your role in your company. If you're the business owner, maybe you want to see all of them, especially the sales related ones. You probably want to see your to-do list. That would be the tasks one, or what's on your calendar. Signals, those would be from Twitter. So if you are not utilizing Twitter, if you're not connecting Twitter to Nimble at all, maybe that could be one widget that you hide. We also offer email tracking. So that goes for messages, group messages sent from Nimble, any individual messages sent from inside of Nimble or from inside of our mobile applications, and also from messages, individual messages sent from Gmail. So once people start interacting with those messages, in this box, you will see a list of all the people and how they're interacting, meaning opening your messages. Nimble also offers 3 sales related widgets. So you'll be able to see your stage funnel, the list of your deals, and the pipeline chart. Stay in touch feature allows you to set a stay in touch reminder feature for certain people, and we offer a custom one. So if you want to stay in touch with somebody on a regular basis, let's say every 25 days, you could tell Nimble to send you notification every time that time is approaching. And we will also show you a list of all those people that are soon scheduled to be followed up with. Okay, so once we're done here, we can close settings and quickly go through what the widgets actually look like. So as you can see, I can see all my scheduled tasks here. I could also focus on just the upcoming ones or just those that are overdue. I could see all my calendars, or I could just see a specific calendar if you have multiple calendars that you're using. So I could just see my personal calendar. This is my Twitter stream, so I can see how people are interacting with the content I shared, see who started following me, so I could then look into them more and see if I might reach out to them. So email tracking, you see how people are interacting with the messages I sent them and decided to track, because you can still just send them untracked. You still have the option to do that. Stage funnel, so I can see how much money I have in each stage. This is where you could also focus on a specific pipeline. You could focus on just your deals or deals that are owned by the entire team. This is where you would see an entire list of all the deals. You can focus on just those that have been won, lost, or those active won or lost by the entire team. in pipeline chart, this is where you can do the same, select team chart or individual pipeline, select the time frame, and see how much money is projected and in your pipeline. So that's the today page. Fun features, you can also upload your logo and change the cover here. And let's go onto the contacts page, because that's where you'll be doing the most of your work. So on the left side, this is where you can see all your contacts, everybody that's in your database, or just people, just companies, everybody that you have marked as important, meaning you clicked on the little star and decided to mark them as important or VIPs. Although all those that have been recently viewed, recently added, recently contacted, or those that you chose to set up the stay in touch reminder for. We also offer this place where you can recover previously deleted contacts, and the account administrator will be able to set the time frame. So if you only want the deleted contacts to stay there for 30 days, after the 30 days, they would just disappear forever. So I want to show you what a contact record looks like inside of Nimble. So let's pick on our CEO. So as you can see all the basic stuff, first name, last name, the title where the person works for. This is how you can mark them as important or set up stay in touch reminder for. So I have a custom one. I want to stay in touch with John every 45 days, which actually it should probably be more often. We'll show you a little bio about the person. This is where you can add a note. Notes will be shared across the entire team, so that's something to keep in mind. So notes can include anything that the person just told you. That it could be like a summary of the recent call or anything. This is where you could log any activities that happened in the past. So if it was a task that you performed related to the contact person, you could log it here. It could be a calendar event. So maybe you met up with them for dinner, or you had a phone call, but it wasn't on your calendar. You want to make sure that it's recorded in your CRM. You could log the past event here. If it was a phone call, you want to log it as such, you can do so here. And this is where you would be able to select any of the custom activities. For anything that will happen in the future that you want to schedule, you would click on the schedule button. Same thing, custom activities available, calls, events, and tasks. You can also send a message from here. So you would just select the email, subject line. See, because I saved the signature in settings, it's automatically loaded here. And this is where I could also save whatever I type as a template or select from any of my existing templates. And then I can decide if I want to send it, or if I want to send it and if I want Nimble to track it. And if I have multiple emails connected to Nimble, I can also select from which one I want it to go from. And again, this will go out looking like it went from your Outlook, because it actually did. We're using your Outlook or your Gmail to send this message. You can also create a deal straight from here. So you could put the name of the deal or the company that you're working with, the probability, expected close date. You can set the amount. You can set the primary contact, add any participants. So if there's multiple people involved in this deal opportunity, you can list them here. This is where you would select the appropriate pipeline on which you want the deal to go on and the appropriate stage. You can assign it to yourself or anybody else on your team and set the privacy. And on the left side here, you can also see the contact information for the person. You can see all the tags that are created. So there are two ways how you can organize contacts in Nimble. The easiest way are probably tags. So you can create as many as you want as possible. And it's very easy to organize them this way. And the other way is to use in custom fields. So just in a moment, I will show you what they look like. We already covered how to create them. In this section under lead details, this is where you can qualify the contacts. And in settings, that's actually where custom fields are managed as well. The account admin will be able to define all these values. So whatever the lead status might be for a company, different lead sources and the lead types, the account administrator will be able to define them. If there are any deals that are active, they would show up here. If we scroll up, you'll see that on the right side under interactions, you will see everything that has been done and is scheduled to happen with the person. But once you've had a long relationship with somebody, this tab might become a little overwhelming. So then I would recommend looking for specific things under the specific tabs here. So under messages, you'll see all the messages that you have exchanged with the person. Under activities, you will see all the activities. You can also pick the individual ones. So if deals are those that you're looking for, you can select them from the drop-down menu on the right. Under notes, we'll show you all the notes, and under deals, we'll show you all the deals. So let's go to data fields. So I mentioned that you get to create up to 5 custom tabs here. So this is what they would look like. This is one that it's already existing in Nimble. So we'll show you all the information about the person. And these are some of these that you can actually define. So one that I created is called programs. So this is what the account owner fields looks like. So I can edit it from here, and I have a drop-down menu of all the people that that might be account owners in our system. So really, you can create a custom field for anything. In this case, I added a text field because I want to know if this influencer that I'm working with has a blog, if they have an RSS feed, if they're a Nimble user, if so, what type of account they have, when their account expires, how many users they have, and so on. So Nimble can really be a tool that you can use to manage all kinds of activities. So I'm not in sales, I'm in marketing. So I also use it to manage our influencer program and also relationships with press. Under company info, you'll see the info about the company. I'm not sure why it's not showing up here. Under social, if the person is active on social media, we'll give you a little preview into all the accounts. And under files, you'll be able to upload files from either Microsoft OneDrive, Google Drive, or Dropbox. So that's the contact record. One more thing I want to show you inside of the contacts tab is how you can use our segmentation to segment on the data that you brought into Nimble. So you can either click on Add Segment here to launch it, or you can click into this big search box. So 2 options. When you get into this tab, you will see these what we call quick filters pop up. So these are just some of the filters that you can use to segment your database on. So for instance, if you're looking for all the CEOs that reside in Santa Monica, Nimble can create the search for you. So these are all the CEOs, and I can further refine the search by applying any of the filters, meaning any existing or custom fields in Nimble. So I could also create a search that would include all the CEOs that I have that also have been tagged as client 2019. If you want to look for additional filters, you would just click here, Add Filter, and you could even pick all the CEOs that have birthday in a certain period, or you could also search for specific company or education. There really is a lot you can do, and also search on any custom field. So that's very, very useful. So if you're transitioning from spreadsheets, I definitely recommend creating custom fields, and then you could search for any specific information you might add to Nimble, like you know, what is it that they purchase. So you could pull up a list of all the customers that purchase certain product in 2019. And then once you have this list of people, you can either create saved segments. So these can be all CEOs in LA. I could save it. It will appear here. Every time a new contact record fits the criteria in my search, they will be automatically added there. So these searches will always be up to date. Another thing that you might do when you create a segmented list of people is to either export them or send them a group message. So as I mentioned earlier, the way our group messaging works is that we actually send it using your email provider. So the advantage is that when you use Nimble to send the group message, to everybody on the list, it will look like you took the time and tailored the message just to them. They will not know they were a part of a group outreach. One question we get often is if Nimble can replace like a marketing automation system for you. And the answer is no, because we didn't design the feature to do that. We designed the feature to work with our segmentation feature. So we want our clients our users to use the segmentation to figure out smaller groups of people, and then allow them to use the group message to email them with a similar message. In the future, we'll also allow you to edit the individual messages, but for now, we really recommend segmenting the database into smaller groups and then really taking time tailoring the message. And we know from our own experience that it really does pay off because we've seen some amazing open rates and response rates. So when you're emailing from Nimble, again, you can pick from which email address you want the email to go out of. This is where you'll see the list of all the recipients. If there are any people that you selected that you don't have emails for, they would show up here. And we actually have a contact discovery feature. So there would be a little green button that would allow you to find the contact information. And I'll show you how you can do it when we go over how to use the browser extension, because the button looks the same. So then again, you would just put subject line, could say hello and add merge tag. So you could merge on first name, and then Nimble would automatically grab the person's first name. You can also include an unsubscribe link, attach files, all that. If you write something that you think you would want to reuse in the future, you can easily save it as a template or select from any existing templates. We also give you the option to send yourself a test message to make sure that everything looks good, there are no typos, the formatting looks good, any attachments you attached are actually attached, and so on. So once you send the message, and on the regular account, we allow you to send up to 100 messages per day per user, but you can upgrade to be able to send up to 300. And the reason why the limits are set so low is because we're sending the message via your email provider. Your email provider sets limits before they basically spank somebody for being a spammer. So that's another kind of like a precaution we put in place. And it's actually an advantage as well, because nobody wants to get looked out of their email, but also it will really force you to create smaller groups of people and really target the outreach. Because if you blast thousands of people with one message, they will know, because it's not tailored to them. It's very, very possible that they're working in different positions, they have different titles, and so on. So the segmentation can really help you to reach people in a more personal way. So once you send the group messages, this is where you will be able to see the results. So we'll give you the insights of how many people opened the message, how many people clicked, how many unsubscribed, if it failed. We also show you when was the last time the people opened the messages, if so, how many times, and if you include a link, we will also show you how many times the people opened them. So then you can select these people and possibly send them another templated message to save time. We do not have automated processes just yet, but you can save templates and kind of save time doing it this way. I also want to show you activities. In activities listing, this is where you can create a to-do list, but it's also a very useful feature for any managers or business owners, because you can use this to kind of see how productive your employees are. So you can select a specific employee and then select the time frame, and then you'll be able to see how many tasks they completed, what the tasks were. You can also focus on just specific ones. So if you want to see how many appointments they had with clients, how many calls they were on, and so on, you can use this activities listing to do that. You can also configure the table here. So depending on what type of a list you're creating, you might want to see the phone number there, or the status, or who it was assigned to, or anything. You can also just deselect those that you're not interested in. You can also drag and drop here, and you can also pin those that you definitely want to see at the front. So if you're creating a call list, then you would probably want to see the phone number for the person here, and so on. Additionally, these reports can be exported, so you can email them to somebody, or print them out, or present from them in the meeting. So in our deals section, this is where you can manage your pipelines. You can create as many pipelines in Nimble as you want. You can also view it as a pipeline or as a list. And we already covered what it looks like when you edit it. So you can rename the name of it. You can create as many stages as you want. You can edit the name. You can also drag and drop here. You can also set the number of days you allow each deal to stay in each stage. The range amount can be set up, and so on. So when we're in deals here, then if you move the deal through the stages, you can either drag and drop, or you can open the deal and see what it looks like. You'll see all the information about it, any messages that are related to this, if there are any activities, any notes, or any attachments related to this deal. You can also add any activity, log notes here, attach files from here, and you can also edit it. We also offer reporting in Nimble, so you can report on all your pipelines, or you can report on specific ones. It can be a team report, or you can focus on individual salesperson. You can also use it to forecast your deals and access your deal history. And again, you can print it out or save it on your computer. So I talked a lot about our plugins. So I want to show you how you can use it. So most of you are on Outlook. So when you go to nimble.com/widget, you can either download the Outlook add-in here, or you can install it from inside of your Outlook. So here I am on Outlook for web, but we also work on the desktop version. So it depends on your preference, and it should automatically plug into both. So and this will also depend on the version of Outlook you have. So in the version I'm using for web, I have to open an email and then click on these three dots, scroll down and find the Nimble plugin here. And Nimble will tell me if I already have this person in my database. Looks like I do. So I can access all the information about the person. I could also tag them. I could see anything that's on my calendar with them, or the history. I could create any tasks, create deals, or preview existing deals I have with this person, create any notes, or just review those that have been previously created by myself or anybody on my team. I could mark the person as important, set up the stay in touch reminder. I could call them. I could also add the no task deal or event from here. And I could edit any information on here. So if somebody emails me and I notice that they were promoted, their title changed, or they work for a different company, I could update the contact record straight from here as well. So this is what it will look like on the desktop version of Outlook. There's actually this nice Nimble button that you will see. So you'll be able to just click on it and see all the information in here. Looks exactly the same as on the web version. So you'll see all the information about the person that you already have in there, and you'll also be able to add any new information. And you'll also be able to see information about the company that they work for or own. For our Gmail users, so when you open a message, the extension will actually automatically pop up here. So then it will know if you already have the person in your database or you'll be able to add them. For Gmail users, I also want to point out that you can also send templated messages, and I'm testing a new version of the extension. So I actually have 2 of them installed, so that's why you see a lot of these here. It should not look like this on your end. So you can track any messages sent from Nimble. Oopsie, I'll cancel the notifications for now. And you can also select from any existing templates. When you download the browser extension for the browser of your choice, so I'm using Chrome, you can also use it anywhere you might be working at. So the way it works is that you just open it up. Let's see how it works here on LinkedIn. I can just hover over anybody's name. If I already have the person in Nimble, it will show me the existing contact record. It will also suggest me all the different places this person is active on in regards to social media. And it will help me to build a rich profile for these people. This is the contact discovery feature, the green button I was talking about. So as long as you know the first name, last name, and the company the person worked for, Nimble should be able to find a contact information for them. When you first sign up, we will give you 25 credits for free. Okay, so as you can see, it works very well. And if you want to upgrade, you will be able to contact us at care@nimble.com for information about how to upgrade. But you can test it out for free on 25 different people to see if that is something that you would want to utilize. So you can qualify the person straight from here, create any tags. You can even follow them on Twitter straight from here. You'll see a summary about the person, where they went to school, what they're influential in, where they're located, and so on. You can even see what they're tweeting about if they're active on Twitter. Under this plus sign button, you can create tasks, calls, notes, add any deals, and so on. Under 3 dots, you'll be able to edit any information. And last thing today, before we go to Q&A, I would like to show you the mobile application. We have the mobile application for both Android and iOS. So when you log in, first tab will be our agenda. So you'll be able to see what's on your calendar, and you'll be able to find a little more about the person. Well, not in this case. Let's see if I can find somebody. Okay, so this is a little more information on here. You can also use Nimble to send them a message when you're running late, or you can send them something custom. Under tasks, that's the second tab, you'll see a list of your upcoming tasks, those that have been completed and those that you marked as important. You can also create a new task from here. Under contacts, that will be the middle option. You can preview any contact records. You can also search for them. It would be here. When you click this plus sign button, you can add a person or company manually, or we also have a business card scanner, which is awesome. So you can just take a picture of a business card, and Nimble will create a contact record for the person for you. So on the contact record, you can access all the information that you can on the web version of Nimble. So you can quickly learn a little more about the person and their company before your meeting. You can go through the history. What are the pending deals or any deals that have been won or lost in the past? All the messages that you have exchanged, and so on. You can also access your deal pipeline and create new deals. And then you would be able to pick on which pipeline and what stage you want the deal to go on. And that's it. You can do most of the things you can do on the web app on the mobile version. If you have any questions about the mobile application, please let me know. And I will now let you know about our future training webinars. So I'll be doing this weekly. I will alternate between the regular overview where I go into details about every single feature, and also between webinars in which I will focus on specific features. So next week, I will be focusing just on segmentation, sending group messages, and creating custom fields. The week after, on January 22nd, I will do what I did today. On January 29th, I will focus just on using deals and creating multiple pipelines in Nimble, and the deals management, creating reports, and so on. And then on February 5th, I'll be doing the general overview as well. If you want to check out all our other webinars, we do webinars with influencers and everything. So you can also go on nimble.com/company/webinars and sign up for any webinars that you might be interested in. For those of you that are thinking about signing up for Nimble, feel free to go on nimble.com/offer/webinar30. And if you register for Nimble there, we'll give you 30 days for free. If you're currently in trial and you want to take advantage of this, just email us at care@nimble.com, and we'll be able to give you the 30 days as well. So now let me see what your questions might be. I'm just opening it on a different screen here. Okay, so Peter is asking, would be great if text messaging could map over into Nimble the same way email does. I agree. We don't have the capability just now. If we introduce that in the future, we'll definitely make sure that we'll send everybody an email to let them know that we added this capability. So Darren was asking about generating report for calls and notes only. So for notes, unfortunately, you won't be able to report on those, but you will be able to report on calls. So in activities listing, you would be able to pull the calls completed by either the entire team or specific team members. So maybe if you wanted to, you can report on tasks. So maybe if that would work for you, I would suggest using tasks instead of notes so you can report on it. So test it out and let us know if it would work for you. And if you have any additional questions, just email us at care@nimble.com, and we'll try to figure out how you can get whatever you're trying to get done. Mary's asking if Nimble will sync subfolders in your inbox. So unfortunately, we will not. Is Nimble working on integrating with other social media? Shelly's asking. This is a great question. We would like to, but the decision's not on us. We actually, when we first started, we integrated with everything. But then the individual social media networks made business decisions that prevented us from integrating with them. So Facebook wants you to use Facebook because they make money by selling advertising. So they want you to be using Facebook on Facebook. And LinkedIn, they came up with their own version of CRM. They have LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So the decision made a lot of sense for them. They want you to, use a LinkedIn Sales Navigator instead of other third-party CRMs. So, and then recently Instagram, that is owned by Facebook, they also made some changes to their API. So these are the reasons why we don't have these integrations. If the APIs become open again, we will gladly start integrating with these social media platforms again. But so far, Twitter is the only open one that allows a direct integration. Peter's asking if it's possible to have sub-accounts within Nimble, and the answer is no as of now. He goes into more detail saying, for example, if we want to load a spreadsheet of contacts that started in LinkedIn, but want to tag them so that we can work through them as we transition over to Nimble. So you can bring in contacts into Nimble and tag them and get back to them later. Currently, okay, so I thought that you meant like that maybe your company would have one Nimble account and then you as the business owner would have like a sub account, or anybody else. So we don't have that option, but I'm trying to read your question again. So yeah, you can upload different spreadsheets to Nimble even from LinkedIn and then and tag them. I'm not sure if that's what you're asking. So if you can clarify or email us at care@nimble.com, explain it in more detail, we'll be more than happy to answer it in detail. Stefan's asking, can I automate the download of leads for my third-party lead provider, Real Geeks? I would recommend looking at integrations with either PiSync or Zapier. There might be a way, but I'm not familiar with these apps, unfortunately. Mary's asking, when you import contact, can you just import a certain category? Not sure what you mean. Yeah, if you can clarify, Mary, it would help. Stefan, I'm a realtor and need to enter more than one name, one spouse, children names, etc. How do I enter them and how do I see them on my prospect's profile? Great question. So I would actually recommend creating custom fields. So as you can see, under data fields, you could create one that can be called additional customer info or detailed customer info, and you could create custom fields, and then you would be add any information that you might need to see in there. Shelley's asking, what does track it mean in regards to messages? So we allow you to send track messaging, meaning every time the person opens your message, we will send you a notification and we'll also show you on the today page that they have opened. So that can really give you an idea of when the people are interacting with your messages, and then possibly you can even give them a call when they're thinking about you, reviewing your proposal and all that. Lee is asking, when sending a message through Nimble, if I use send and not send and track, is the HTML tracking code removed? My corporate clients are seeing messages to download in their emails, and I would like to avoid that. Are seeing messages to download in their emails. Not sure what you mean by that. So when you send messages as tracked in Nimble, the person should not be able to see that you're tracking them. There's no like a disclaimer that this message is being tracked. Although if they dig into it, they might be able to see it in the code. But I'm not sure what you mean by them seeing messages to download. So if you can clarify that, please do. Yes, at least also asking if it's possible to send a group message without email tracking. Yes, definitely. When you go into group messages, or actually a new group message here, you can select do not track this message. Kinona's asking if you can schedule messages. Not as of now. Alexander's asking, where would I store a salutation in order to use it in group messages? Okay, so good question. So we currently don't give you the option to include that. So that would have to be, you would probably have to, let me see. Great question. Nope. Person info. Yeah, I don't think we are currently able to do that for you. Mary's asking if I add a note to Nimble, does it also sync to notes on Outlook? No, notes will not sync to your Outlook. Alexa's asking how well does Nimble work with Mac Mail? So we don't have. So I believe if it's that you can connect it to Nimble as an IMAP, and then it would work the same as Gmail or Outlook. But you might want to make sure that it's an IMAP one. Lisa asking, is it possible to schedule a future task to all contacts or a group of contacts at the same time? For example, if I want to send a happy first day of spring gift basket, is there a way to schedule this task to a group of contacts at the same time? Unfortunately, we do not offer this option as of now. So you would have to do it for all of them manually. Alexandra's asking, will email tracking and signature parsing be available for Office 365 as well? In regards to, I'll actually have to ask the team about that, so we will follow up with you. But in regards to signature parsing, I don't think it will be available anytime soon. And for email tracking, I also don't believe that it will be available soon, but I will check on that and we'll get back to you individually. Daryl is asking what privacy levels are available, especially in regards to activities. So in regards to activities, we don't currently have a way to mark any activities as private. So everybody on your team account would actually be able to see the activities. Not your emails, but any activities that you might schedule, those would be visible in there. Charles is asking, will Nimble allow a user to see if one of my partners has contacts at the same firm as the individual contact that I'm communicating with, or if they already have a relationship with the individual I am communicating with? So right now, all contacts inside of Nimble are shared. So if you and your partners upload your contacts to Nimble, you will be able to see them. And in regards to their communication, when you connect your email account to Nimble, by default, you will have your messages as private, but we offer you the option to unlock certain ones or unlock all of them together. So you can decide on that, and in this case you would also be able to see the communication, but that's something that would probably have to be decided company-wide. So Alexander's also asking, when will it be possible to analyze Nimble data with Power BI? I don't believe we have an exact ETA, but it's definitely coming early in 2020. That's something that our team is currently working on. Sadie, how do you get company insights to populate on the main contact page? So on the main contact page, so once there's an information about the company, it will populate itself. So first the information have to be added, and then it would show on the company page. Or if you can add some information, if let's say Nimble suggesting if this is Nimble 2, if it was the correct one, then the information would be added automatically from social media. But right now it's just finding a bunch of other Nimbles for some reason. When you search someone on Nimble, does the other person have to be on Nimble as well? No. It's your data, Glenn. So whatever you put in your CRM database, it's in there. It's your data, and they will not know they're in your CRM database, and they don't have to use Nimble. Tina, could every contact have unlimited tags? Yes. Steve, what about birthday? Can we have them automate and send an email template without us doing this manually? Unfortunately, we don't have automated processes just yet, so you can't automate it, unfortunately. Dan's asking, how do we associate multiple people contacts within one company when importing from another database? Multiple people contacts within one company. Okay, great question. So if you're bringing the contacts from inside of, if you're bringing them in using a CSV file, then you would have to put the companies and all people on a single row. So this way they would be imported in individual contacts. But then if then you have a column with the company name and they have the same company, then they would be associated with the company as well. And if you're using the PiSync integration to bring them in, then I would think that PiSync would have such options in the setting. So if you are already looking at it, or if you need help with it, please let us know at care@nimble.com, and we'll assist you with that. Tina, could I export every single tag, the contacts in a tag in Excel directly? No, so you can export your contacts into a CSV file, and then you would have to save it as an Excel file. But we don't currently, you can pull the specific contacts by tag, but we don't offer tag export. But if you want the contacts, if you want to pull them by the specific tag, you can do that. Louis is asking, is there an option for users when an administrator assigns a lead to a specific team member? Can the team member get a notification via email or text or alert under deals or tasks? So right now, and this is something that's going to change very soon. Right now, we don't have the way to determine between contacts and leads inside of Nimble. But when you assign something to a specific team member, they do get a notification inside of Nimble and also an email. Dan, the option to scan a business card is missing on your phone. If you are in, so I believe that it might be some GDPR limitations, so it depends on your location. Peter's asking, if we want to add a large group of accounts, can we add a group flag to them so that we can go back and edit them one by one on a going forward basis? This is a follow-up to the sub accounts question. Yeah, so you could apply a tag to them and just remember what the tag is and then get back to them and make sure that you update them one by one. So if it's just a bunch of people that somebody created a list of from LinkedIn or anywhere else, and you just don't have the time to do the proper research right that second, you can just apply a tag to them and then it will be visible to everybody on the team and you'll be able to go back to it anytime you have the time. I have a question here. Can other users in my team can see my contacts? Yes, all contacts are shareable as of now. We are changing our privacy very soon, so you will have the option to hide some contacts. But as of now, all contacts are shared across the entire database. Does the platform automatically capture anything I do in my email and integrate emails, new contacts, calendar events, etc. into Nimble? Even if I cannot work in directly in Nimble, my activities are being captured, right? Yes and no. So if you create a contact in Nimble, or if you choose to create them from your Outlook or Gmail, then we will automatically attach all the emails that you have exchanged with them. So if the contact record in Nimble has the same email address as you have, so we basically match it by the email address. So yes to that question, but yeah, and yes to calendar events. Once you connect your calendar to Nimble, will be automatically tracking that. But new contacts, you will have to first manually add them because so I just want to make sure that you know that every time somebody emails you, it doesn't mean that they will be automatically added to Nimble because we don't want you to mess up your database. How do we sort clients and reps by location? So you can use our segmentation. So you could use this location button. And if you created a custom field for your representative, so I created this account owner, you could also use this segmentation to segment them on that. And I think that's everything. Thank you to everybody that stayed so long with me today. If you have any questions, please let us know at care@nimble.com. And I hope that you'll have a wonderful day. Bye.